If you can't make the energetic shift, enlightenment happen, does it just happen when you are ready for it to happen? And other than learning the teachings and knowing things experientially, is there anything else you can do? So the most important point to this question is, who is the one that is trying to work this out? So there's thought processes happening in your brain, although scientists haven't actually found where thinking happens, but there is thought processes happening. And then there is a feeling of you, and then a you that is wanting something to be done in order to get somewhere. So who is this I? Who are you? Ramesh Balsekar, he used to always tell this story about how he was babysitting his great granddaughter or great grandniece or something. I can't remember who it was. And she came to stay with him just for like the morning. She did some colouring in and she showed him the picture and he went, very good, very good. And then at 3 years old, she put the picture down after she'd finished colouring, and then she just looked at him all wide-eyed and went, and now what am I meant to do? And this is the person's dilemma. As a baby prior, I'm not saying that you go back to baby mind, but as a baby prior to that entity arising, the baby just was. It had no sense of it being someone that had to do something or go somewhere or get something. It just was. It was simply everything. It didn't know, oh, I'm a baby inside this body, I've got a hand and I've got like 6 things I've got to do and I've got to get enlightened. It just was. And then the baby gets the idea of doing. And then you get into this spirituality when you're like 30 or 40 years old. And then you think, okay, so in the rest of my life I've always done things and achieved things, so let's do that in non-duality. But actually, the most important question that you can ask is, who is the one that needs to do something to get somewhere? That doesn't mean don't do things. Yeah, like you can do things to relax the person, meditate, look at seeking patterns, look at chakras, emotions, go to therapy to help relax the person. And then when the person's less busy, then this can be heard more. But who is this one that wants that? Who is this one that imagines itself in the future getting to this and waiting for the energetic shift? Who are you? Like, so now when I'm talking, you think you see Lisa, and this is coming out through the character of Lisa. So this body is like expressing itself through the dynamics of Lisa, but it's not actually Lisa speaking. There isn't an entity in here that's like, speak, move the mouse box, move the eyes, blah, 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 move the face. It is a happening. It's coming from no place. The seeing, the speaking, the actions, but it comes out as the colour of Lisa, just like this jumper comes out, the colour of this jumper. So you could say Lisa's speaking on one level, but that's not the truth. It is no thing speaking now. It is life speaking now. It is God speaking now. Thanks, Lisa. But then I think, okay, so there's no person to get the energetic shift. So how does it happen? I know, it's mysterious, eh? How can anything happen without you? It's so insulting to the person. How can the most important thing in your life not involve you? I'm not saying that this is the way you think. I'm just talking about the general ego, the collective ego of humanity. So what is it that is watching that person that says, how can this happen without me? What is it that's always been there when you have come and gone and changed? What is it that's never left, that's always silence and movement simultaneously, no thing and everything? There is this part of experiencing, which is all of experiencing, really, it's a trick, that never leaves. What is that? So it happens beyond you. What is there beyond you? This idea of you. So traditionally the way they teach it in Advaita is who is looking at the person. So you've got the person that arises asking that question and thinking about that there's something that's watching the person. Then you can go even deeper in that and you can begin to question watching, but you can just come to that, like, what is watching? So she says the I am. Yeah, that they teach it in different ways. Like the I am is that sense of being, and then there is this consciousness that's watching the I am and the person. So they say, like traditionally in teaching, like the I am is the first thing that comes in. There is no thing, then the consciousness, then the I am, and then the person. But actually the I am and the consciousness like eventually aren't separate, and you could say is beingness, the no thing and the everything. It's not that consciousness is watching the I am, it's like one and the same thing. But you can split it up like that, but the consciousness is watching the I am and watching the person. So the consciousness is watching the I am, but the I am is impersonal. It's not like I am Sam or I am something. It's just this I am. This is not I am with any thought attached to it, but that this is, and it's love, the sense of being. So there's the consciousness, the sense of being, and then there is this person. And notice that there's something that's watching that person. There's something that knows that person. It's not the person. The person is thoughts and feelings and energies that is in movement, memories that are appearing, and there is something that's conscious of that. And that is totally free. It's no place and all places. And the consciousness is everything, but is the I am everything? The I am is everything too. So I used to think the I am was in the body, but the I am is actually everywhere and everything too. They're the same thing, it's just a trick of the mind. The consciousness and the I am are two sides of the same coin. You could say the I am, the beingness is everything, and the consciousness is the looking. The consciousness would be dead without the I am, like dead as in like cold. But they're not separate from each other in the end. But traditionally the way it's taught is nothing, so everything comes from nothing. The first thing that manifests is consciousness, and then this sense of I am, and then in that the body, the ego, the world appears. But eventually they all come back together, and that's just a way of teaching. And it's just this recognition that's beyond the mind, that there is this silent, still watching right here, that is all things, is everything. So when the shift happens, does any of the I of the person, does that merge with consciousness? I would say it's the other way around. So when there's identification, it's like almost like the consciousness and the I and the person are kind of merged together, and it feels like the person like contains the consciousness, and then it separates, and then the person becomes something that is functioning in you rather than you. So the person is like a vessel in you rather than the experiencer. Thanks, Lisa. I have to replay the last part to try and get my head around it. Thank you.